Hello, thank you so much for the invitation to participate in this wonderful conference, and thank you especially for opening the option to participate in this very environmentally friendly way by sending a video. My name is Kate Oren. I'm the director of Wedo, the Women's Environment and Development Organization. Founded 20 years ago, Wedo is a women's global advocacy organization working toward a just world that promotes and protects human rights, gender equality, and the integrity of the environment. Our primary focus is at the intersection of women's rights and sustainable development. And over the years, WeDo has had a major role in establishing a pretty strong normative framework for sustainable development with a gender perspective. For a number of years now, WeDo has worked on climate change as one of the most urgent issues of our time, one that is a critical human rights and social justice issue, raising awareness, building alliances and coalitions, conducting capacity building and advocacy at the global level especially, and also at the national level, working for the last 2 years in over 9 countries. I have just been at the UN climate change negotiations in Doha, and I wish today I were reporting really wonderful news, but unfortunately these negotiations continue to be incredibly frustrating and actually rather frightening, because the speed at which countries are able to come to agreement simply does not match the urgency of this issue. It cannot be overemphasized that this is a colossally complex problem, and no one is pretending that there are easy fixes. But there is a pretty common sense step in the right direction, and that's integrating the real needs, experiences, expertise, positions, priorities, ideas, and innovations of the entire world's population, not just half. Climate change is happening, and the impacts are very diversified on geographies, economies, classes, ages, and certainly genders. Plentiful information now, including from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the highest esteemed scientific body on climate change, indicates that those in already fragile, vulnerable situations, marginalized or discriminated against for a variety of factors, including gender, are among those most urgently and deeply affected by climate change. From fishing to forestry, to agriculture, energy, water, housing, infrastructure, transportation, every sector has a different impact on and feels different impacts from a changing climate. And with typically different roles and responsibilities at all levels across all sectors, women and men therefore experience climate change differently and contribute to its drivers differently. This is, in a very simplified nutshell, why climate change is a gender equality issue and why we at WeDo prioritize work on it. And I am happy to report that there has been progress over recent years, and we're very proud of the role that we have played in partnership with a very wide range of stakeholders to continue to make proactive steps. In 2007, recognizing that a multi-stakeholder approach was very much going to be needed to drive a paradigm shift, WeDo joined with the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, UNDP, and UNEP to form the GGCA, the Global Gender and Climate Alliance, to ensure that climate change policymaking and programming at all levels is gender responsive. UNIFEM, now UN Women, has been a very important partner in this effort and is among now almost 70 members, IGOs and NGOs, including 13 UN agencies that make up the membership of the GGCA. On behalf of the GGCA, WeDo has led advocacy strategizing and action at the global climate change negotiations since 2008. At the outset of this work, there were 0 references to gender equality, barely any references to social issues at all, in the negotiating documents. A few months later, after targeted outreach, awareness raising, advocacy, again with a very wide range of partners, we helped to integrate 43 references to women's rights and gender equality across the climate change negotiating text. Now, the outcomes of this text over the last couple of years have integrated women's rights and gender equality issues across all the major aspects of climate change: mitigation, adaptation, technology, finance, and capacity building, which we consider rather a huge achievement as it earmarks especially very important places for gender-responsive implementation at the national and subnational levels in stages to come, which is, of course, the point. We want to see action on the ground, not just words on paper. Now, in Doha, there have been very important issues, very contentious issues of equity on the table, equity between countries and equity within countries. Gender equity got quite a bit of attention in and of itself, and on Saturday night, parties agreed a decision to support women's participation in the global negotiations, aiming to achieve gender balance on delegations. Now, this is exciting progress, as women indeed have the right to participate in all aspects of decision-making on this issue. But it's important to note that this decision is not new. This decision seeks to recall and strengthen a decision made 11 years ago to achieve gender parity on these delegations. And despite countless efforts, progress has been incredibly limited. So while we do celebrate this attention on gender equity and this victory in promoting women's participation, we do recognize that there needs to be a lot of work done on the barriers that women face to participating in this process. And particularly, we need to understand gender equality as a complex and comprehensive issue. Just getting women to the table simply is not going to be enough. We know this very well, not least because of a program that we run called the Women Delegates Fund. This fund sponsors women from the Global South to be part of their national negotiating teams. We sponsor them with travel support, but also with a comprehensive capacity building program. 6 years of this program has taught us a lot. And unfortunately, it has revealed over and over again the incredible diversity of discriminations that women face, sometimes among the most esteemed experts on climate change in their countries, passed over simply because they are women. So we have a lot of work yet to do. There are countless barriers to progress on the global policymaking stage, but we have very little time to act. We must all take responsibility for pushing our governments at every level for action on climate change. So I want to sincerely thank you for putting this issue at the forefront of your agenda, for inviting me to participate, and in turn, I invite you very much to visit our website, get more information, resources, find out how to get involved. We need your support to continue to make progress toward a more equal and certainly a more sustainable world. I wish you wonderful success for these discussions and a great conference today. Thank you so much.